one of the things that I remember is being at a football clinic and hearing Coach Tyrone Willingham speak. And one of the
Right.
things that he said was, to be great, you have to be able to get past boredom. And when I think of a point guard, I just think, man, a point guard cannot have a short attention span.
No, he's the point guard is the leader for the entire team. You know, the many coaching staffs will allow that athlete to have a voice, an extension of the coach on the floor. Many people have heard that before, but really, in my terms, you know, he's the straw that mixes the drink. He is the one that makes everything move, and you know, I give a lot of attention to that point guard spot, because even in my huddle, I will situate it so that the point guard sits directly in front of me.
Right.
The 2s and 3s on one side and the 2 bigs on the other side. Yeah. They can have their dialogue amongst each other because they're pretty much playing the same similar situation, same position.
Yeah.
But at the end, I want that point guard to have a complete understanding of what I want done, because the responsibility falls on the point guard.
Yeah.
Now, because the point guard has that type of responsibility, now he or she also has a particular voice on the game. And when things go wrong, you know, I want the point guard to accept responsibility for things that went wrong,
Yeah.
but also to have that same voice to say to the rest of the team, I'm taking the heat for you. You better step this up, you
Yeah.
know, and it, because not everybody can take the same level of criticism the same way. Sometimes it's unjust, but a thick skin is definitely needed to run a team, and that's what I want them to do, is have the ability to run it freely, confidently, because they are the coach on the floor, and have a voice in the huddle.
Yeah.
And if that can be done, then at least, you know, from the coaching standpoint, in the game, you only have 5 timeouts, and that's all you can do to stop the game.
Yeah.
But your coach on the floor can be directing, encouraging, and challenging the players all at the same time during the game. And that's so valuable to have.
Yeah. How much attention to detail does the point guard need to pay?
That's everything, because you're given the point guard the leadership ability to take ownership of the team, and in such, details must be paid attention to, because little things will turn into big things later.
Yeah.
They're not paid attention to early in any setting, in a business setting, or even in a athletics basketball team oriented setting. And because of that, that's what the details are completely paid attention to. And in my knowledge, you know, I want that point guard to know exactly what I'm asking. I generally will tell the point guard I want this play run at a practice session, and let that be the voice that they're going to hear.
Yeah.
And if it's not run right, I'm not going to yell at my 2 and 3 and everyone else the same way. I'm going to say it to the point guard. That wasn't good enough. To prepare them for the fact that it wasn't good enough. And I want that point guard then, therefore, I want the rest of the team to know the burden is falling on this guy.
Yeah.
You know, and when this guy says, "Hey, you're really not, you know, holding your own," it's because I've taken the heat for you long enough now.
Yeah.
Listen to what I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you have a point guard that, for example, they lose focus, and they just can't grasp certain things, can you work with that point guard, or is it that maybe they're not meant to be a point guard?
Probably not meant to be. You know, it'll depend on each coach in terms of how and what they're going to do. But by then you're kind of a committee. You're kind of hoping for ownership to be taken place by others. But generally, the most successful teams have a very successful point guard. The superstar of the team might be someone else, but it's not the same voice. It's not the same guy that's just generating, driving, dishing out, and doing all the other things that are the intangibles to organize the team. It's most of the time is your point guard who is doing that, and then therefore your team is having that much more success. Ultimately, as a coach, you want your voice to be the extension of the. You want your voice to be heard, but you want it to be an extension of someone else on that team who's sharing the same language, the same mentality, the same drive. And if you have that, then you've got an identity, and your team is reacting the same. And that's not easy to come by. You got to work at that over and over again to build leaders and to have leadership capabilities.
Yeah.
You must work at it. You must provide situations in which they can succeed and fail, and learn from that. And that will build confidence because they've already been in those situations prior. Hopefully it's in a practice situation.
Yeah.
And then in a game situation, maybe they've already experienced it, they've seen it, and that voice can come out.
Right.
That's what you're hoping for, That's why I call them. They're the straw. If you're not ready to go, no one else will be ready to go either.
Yeah.
But if you are, and you accept responsibility for what's going on out there, then the rest of your team will see that you're the one that's bearing the burden of and shouldering extra responsibility.